And now there's Tirompani, he's trying. I have an opinion. Maybe it's another topic for another day. I think he's a man that might be misunderstood. Man, hey, we like comparing. We like comparing. That's why there isn't anything we celebrate as being unique. Some of us live our homes where there's abuse and there's constant pressure, whether it's from a partner or somebody.
Wow.
And the choir is just that one space. And she used the word and said, it's our space to debrief, to de-stress, to just, and then there's the conductor shouting at us, insulting us. So GBV is everywhere.
Today I'm with someone who doesn't need any introduction in choral fraternity. We all know him, Itumeleng, Pooe, from Northwest. Itu, welcome to the show.
No, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Sharp.
Sure.
This is Grand Piano Truth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. From the talent to sustainability, what does it really take?
Sure. Effort.
Yeah.
Effort put. Let me maybe start by greeting the viewers at home.
Yes.
And thank you, of course, for the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's not easy. We work in a space that requires a tough skin. Arts in general are just, a space that needs one to toughen up, don't lose focus, keep trying. It's very personal because, for an example, when you talk about a singer and you make a comment about their voice, who are you talking to? You are talking about a person, I always say to my students where I work, the special thing about us as singers, and I call myself a singer cautiously, is that we are the instrument.
Yes.
There's no one else to blame. It's you. If a guitar string snaps, you can always go to that other music shop and get a new string and play. So it's not easy to keep yourself within the game, to push through, to keep trying and especially in a space where there seems to be a very great obsession of trophies and things like that. It's when you are like myself and you've never won a trophy, then it takes something quite deeper than just waking up and going. Every year you have to reinvent yourself. Every year you have to look for something new. Or try the same thing. I heard somebody that is in soccer say, one thing that people don't realize is that sometimes, it was Pep Guardiola, of course.
Yeah.
He said in one of his interviews, sometimes a team can lose while doing good things and correct things. It's just a matter of time.
Yes.
You have to keep on doing what you believe is good up until it pays off.
Master them.
And you master that. And I mean, I don't have to say a lot about Pep Guardiola. Anyway, I'm not here for that. I'm here for music.
Take me back to the Val.
Sure.
What kind of child were you?
I was a naughty one. I grew up without toys. So whatever that I got, I dismantled. I wanted to see what was in there.
Happening there.
So my grandmother thought it was a waste of time and money. But maybe on a more serious note, I attended my primary schooling at Mukhukhudi Primary School. That's what it was called back then, in Sebokeng Zone 11. So I used to walk long distances to get there. And I remember one year, my principal was Me Masekela. And I'm informed later on that she was a relative of Ibrahim Masekela. I haven't followed up on that much, but everyone said that. Very strict principal. I remember at Mukhukhudi, my sub A, which is grade 1 now, it was room 9, Mem Kumalo. And the rule was simple. when you go out of the door, don't walk across the stoop. You know,
Ooh,
stoop.
yes,
Don't
yes,
walk
yes.
across.
Yes.
So you go onto the paving, then you walk across to the next class. What did I do? I walked across. The principal called me, asked me one question, what are you doing? Before I could answer, there was a clap right across my face. And from that day, I never walked on a stoop like that. So she was a very strict principal. And then I think 2 years later,
Yes.
it could be 91, 92, then she had to retire. She was quite
Yes.
old. And that's my first encounter with choral music. Lo and behold, the man that came to teach us that special song was Ntate Kuno, the legend from the van.
Yeah.
I remember there was a plastic bag of a particular brand of rice.
Oh, not this,
Not
not this
this
famous brands now.
No, not those ones. We don't want trouble. That rice, I think it was a 2 kg thing. It handles like that. There were copies in there. It was papers written D. There were lines. There were key this. We were not paying attention really, but you know, an eye is an eye. You look and you see that, what is this? And I also remember the first day he wrote music on the blackboard. I still have the melody in my head. It went something like dee 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 dee, and then the chorus da 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 repeated. So it was very simple for us to grasp the concept because it's a cheerful tune. And that was my first encounter of choral music. Then, it was a moment thing. We were forced to go there. Then, believe it or not, Dacia, I joined a dance group. I was a dancer.
Oh,
yes, towards the latter years of my primary school. I enjoyed it. It was something different.
yes.
I still can't dance, but I enjoyed it so much. Abu Timothy, right there in Zone 11, tall man. And I remember that year, 96, if I'm not mistaken, 96, 97, we went to perform at the Dance Umbrella.
Yeah.
And guess who was there? The Somizi. But I didn't know who Somizi was.
That time, yeah.
Now I know who Somizi was. So I can say my primary schooling, the arts, I experienced them in those two folds.
Yes.
Then I went to Moshate Secondary School where I met the most amazing mentor, father figure, friend, Mr. David Sabata Molele Matube.
Okay.
One time we were talking with Michael Dingan some years ago, and he said in his words, this is one of the most underrated musicians probably in the Gauteng province. That man works diligently. He knows how to spot talent. He knows how to nurture talent. It was very interesting there because, again, he just came into the class and said, you, Masie.
Yeah.
Then I went because everyone at home sang, but perhaps let me see if I fit in as well. In maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I was the assistant conductor.
Yes.
I was in grade 9 when I formally joined. And yeah, there were sisters there, people with, that are older than we were. I mean, things were different there. You could still be in matric and be 24 years or whatever. And I missed one rehearsal because I was also into athletics. And I remember coming back, it was a Tuesday. We were singing Come Again, Sweet Love. I will never forget that song because of that day.
Yes.
And it was Music Spread Thy Voice as well. Early in January. So we're singing and he's moving around, Mr. Matube, he's moving around to the basses, he comes to the tenors and he stands right in front of me and he says, sing. Oh, of course I know the song. So I sang. I had memorized very quick. Punch right there. And this senior bass guy, Sillo, I still remember him, Brazilo. He leans over and he says, don't cry. Stand up, don't cry. Says, sing again. Hey, but I can't trust him. He punched me.
Yes.
I compose myself. Singing music, spread thy voice around. And he says, this is what I've been looking for all this time. And suddenly, okay, I feel good now. I did the correct thing.
Yes.
And then now ikwaya iyaphuma, ama-hotman ayeza, and they're like, mfethu, don't ever miss rehearsal. We are struggling here. And there are people who can demonstrate these things. And Meniere Hasio, you were not on the choir. And I'm like, what are these guys saying?
Because they are older than me.
You know?
They should be leading the choir.
Then on Thursday, he comes and he says, hey, I'm meeting Wasatu. I want you to lead the choir. I'm like, Meniere Akitu, let's a melodic. He says, this is how the scale goes. It was E flat, I think. Shows me sharp. This is C major. This is how it goes. Take on. I get in there, people are quiet and waiting. Now I must remember what Meniere has been doing and kind of reenact that, repeat what he's been doing.
Yes.
And indeed, that's how it started. If I can say, I started to have a position when I was in grade 9, and I worked with him, and I saw one thing I want to say about that man. I know you asked me about myself, but I can't talk about myself without talking about him.
Yes.
One thing about him that I think I still keep to date: preparation. I remember one specific year where we went and we were singing in the Old Mutual, the National Choir Festival. And that's my first encounter with Gauteng choristers. We were in the standard, all of us, and they sang Dixit Dominus.
Yes.
It was 98, I think, around there. And we sang the longest piece, Domine Jesu Christ. That man took that booklet and turned it into a 2-page song.
Wow.
He wrote it in a solfa with his pen. It was 1 page, both sides, 1 page, both sides. What struck me even more, he had written in solfa the accompaniment of that Domine Jesu Christ. So he used to play that on the melodica to say, this is how the piano is going to sound, this is how you enter. So he was a very organized person. He is still actively involved. Organized person that knew how to make us believe in this that we are doing. And he loved Western music because that's what they studied at college. And I think that's where I kind of learned some of the things that I still use today. And another thing was this great sense of loyalty. You are loyal, or people are loyal to you because you are loyal to them as well.
Yes.
And sometimes it has nothing to do with music. It's us visiting him on a Saturday and he's just sitting and he tells us about church. He tells us about God. He tells us about his journey, his family. I was lucky to meet his whole family. Sing amazingly, and all of them sang with me and us at some level. So then there was the church, of course. I'm from the St. John's Apostolic Church of Prophecy, where relates Adipala.
Yeah.
So there's that background as well, which I think was also, it was very interesting. My Fridays were very interesting from when I was in secondary, from grade 8 to 12. Every Monday or every day, I'm at school, let's say 6:45 or so, choir. Lunchtime, choir. After school, choir. 4:00, we have to be at the Uniting Reformed Church, Lebohang, in Zone 14. So at least 20% of us from the choir, we would go to that church. We sing till 7:00. At some stage, at 7:30, we have to be at the Methodist at Zone 11 to reinforce there as well. We would be there for 30 minutes, and then we are driven home. So I leave home at 6:30. I come back at 8:30 in the evening. Every day. Friday was most interesting because after school and after that second choir, I have to quickly get, there was a young boy there, Fanny Pepeza. I had to get him. Then we go home. I grab a blanket. I grab my music books. Then we go to church, camp. Saturday, I have to go to VUT, start school. Saturday school. Then there's a feast at church. I have to quickly go home, rest a little bit. Then 4:00, I must be there. They are slaughtering and whatnot. Then church, 10:00. Then it's overnight, most. Sunday, we only finish mhlawumbe ngabo 5. Then I'm only going back home too. So my musical journey is like that. But at home, the one person that has always supported this journey was my grandmother. This one that I'm with now.
You mentioned that growing up in your family, you were a singing family.
Yeah.
What did music mean in your home growing up?
I think it was just a natural thing, man. You grow up, you're a young boy, you can't make sense of what is happening here. You see people sing, so you sing as well.
Yes.
My mom conducted a little bit at church. The one thing I hated about that period was that she sang tenor. I hated that.
Why?
Call me traditional or what, but I always believed tenor is for men.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
So it
yes.
didn't make sense when I was that young.
Mhm.
Why are you singing tenor? So I used to hate that. Then one time I went there and there was a solo thing, and then I said, but I was young, and then I said, "What's opele?" And then she sang that, and everyone was like, "How did you know she could sing that?" I didn't know. I'm just a young boy who's just saying things. So it really, it was just one. It's one of those unifying
Yes.
things in the family. People meet, people sing, and other than the stories when they would tell us what used to happen in Rustenburg, which is where I was born, really, during those times, and you sit and you listen and you see the love that the families, the family
Yes.
members share, and there's always a song in there. And I'm told my great grandfather used to sing as well. I got an opportunity of experiencing him, and I still have that image of him even when I was young in the late 80s, 90s.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think he passed away when he was like 102.
Wow.
But he was blind. He was a prison warden. And he was trusted because even when his eyesight was fading away, he would still transport these prisoners to wherever. So, but
Yes,
one thing
yes,
that is
yes.
distinct that I can remember about him as well was his beard. Always neatly organized.
Yes.
He always wore a shirt and a jacket.
Yes.
There's a photo that I have somewhere on my phone together with my great grandmother. Very elegant and well organized. At least I still have that photo of him. But yeah, music was just a central thing because Ekaya actually we come from the Methodist. Then St. John, it's just spiritual journey. People go through many things, and you get your healing in that space, not necessarily where you were born. So that's how we encountered St. John's. And it has been our church forever. So music was just something that was there. For me as a young boy, it didn't mean anything. But now I can look back and say, hey, perhaps it was that unifying element.
Yeah, there's that time where you realize that I'm not just a singer, but I understand music very deep. When was that time where you understand it? Where you see you're not only a singer?
Let me shock you. I actually never even wanted to be a singer. I just wanted to conduct.
Oh.
I think I enjoy problems. That's why I wanted to be a conductor. But you had to sing in order to be admitted or accepted at university. And I was told, no, but you are not a tenor, you are a baritone. I've never been so hurt in my life.
You wanted to be a tenor?
That's all I knew. But I was young, maybe my voice did not, siakula in choirs. So then I got to I had failed at TUT twice, by the way, 2 times. And I must mention as well, you'll realize, mhlambe, when I get a chance, I'll mention names of people. These are people that I think truly mean something in my life that I cannot even put into words. At key moments of my life, I met these people.
Yes.
Maybe the relationships were not as solid and as good. There was conflict, but out of that, we became the best of friends. So there's a friend of mine, Solomon Moore, doctor.
Yeah.
That's what we called him. He went to school right across my home, Tutotiru. Abotemba Maseko and Brenda Tulo, Cien Sijake, all these wonderful singers went there at that school. And me and Doctor became friends because my uncle taught Doctor at Tutotiru at some stage of their life. So I got to know him, and my uncle was a common denominator, but also music. But we struggled because we didn't know where to go. So there was a man, Jimmy Stoll. may his soul rest in peace. He's the one that gave me my first real experience on stage. And I think from that point onwards, that's when things started to kind of make sense.
Yes.
I remember our first try at NCF. We were singing the "Good you know that song. Istandwa Sam or something, I can't remember. Apologies. And I had full control.
Yeah.
At that young age, I had full control. I decided who sings what, who stands where, who goes where, and this is how we're going to sing soft here, that. And there's a photo as well of that year because it was a golden year.
Yeah.
We swept everything at the URC.
Wow.
Again, I was given that opportunity. There's one photo I have 12 trophies. And the jacket is just there. So it was oversized, and there were just ladies around me. Oh, yeah, man. So
you arrived.
Yes, I'm there. So that was a key moment where things really started to make sense and have meaning. And then you start to think, hey, Buffett, what do I do now? Is this IT thing worth it? Hey, maybe not. Then the family is saying, if you leave this thing, you are not getting our support. Then you're in trouble.
Wow.
But then you take a chance after 2 years or so of not doing anything at home, and you say, I want to pursue this. So I had failed TUT 2003, 2 and 3, I think. No, 2003 and 2004. Because 2004, doctor, this friend of mine, got accepted there. Then I took his form. I hope my degree is not taken away from me. I took his form that had his name and went to the NWU. He was invited to audition. So back then, the form had your name and whatnot. So I arrived at Solomon More, and then I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. Okay, come in. Sang the national anthem, good, and then sing an aria. I sang O Sole Mio, and Prof. Werner Nel went like this.
Yes.
What is this white man laughing at? Now, after they said whatever they said, no, wait for us outside. Then I said, can I ask a question? They said, yeah, we don't have time, but you can ask. I said, why are you laughing? And he said, you say you're a 10, huh? You know, he spoke very hard. Yes, I'm a 10. They said, it's Prof too. Yes, Prof, I'm a 10. we will prove you otherwise. And then one thing that stood out was, we will prove. That means I've made it.
Yes.
So I waited for them, and then he explained in 5 minutes why he didn't think I was this and I was that. But I was hurt, you know. And then in 2 weeks, I enjoyed this new role now. So from the moment of failing the auditions to the moment of being given an opportunity to have full control, and that transition, if I can call it now, being accepted at university, things started to have more meaning. And like I say, I never wanted to be a singer, but I got an opportunity to be accepted and to be taught. So I took it, and I thought already from that age, maybe then it will offer me an opportunity to understand what singers go through. What is it that when somebody says, my voice is sick, what does that mean? And I took it I went through quite a number of singing teachers, and I didn't like it that I was taught by women. Again, it's that traditionalist in me. But it was so much, it made sense now where I am, because I work with a lot of female singers and a very small group of boys. The communication is different when you talk with boys. We can be direct about our issues. But with the ladies now, I've learned that sensitivity from the females that I went through. So I think those 3 moments, failing and pretending to be somebody else to be accepted, and finally being there and seeing and observing. And there was plenty of talent. I've never claimed to be a better singer than people I went to school with. There were people that were just far better than what I could ever claim to have been, but you also learn. And I think that's one thing that, Mhlambe wrapping this one off, that's the one thing that I think I love choirs. Choirs offers us an opportunity to say, I think James is better than me. You don't have to say it to everyone. You can say it to yourself. I think James is better than me, but I'm shy. But I think X if I don't pull up my socks, it's coming.
Yeah.
So you are always in a space of constant, what do we call it? Trying to find yourself
Yes.
where you are
Yes,
in this
yes.
nice mix of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, we all know that conductors are different in many ways.
Mm.
What do you think makes you to be different from other conductors? Remember, you started this at a very young age.
Yeah. I think I'm boring. That's why. There's nothing special about me, and I've said this to Mr. Mahloko as well and Mr. Morobani on the City FM.
Yeah.
They've asked me this question, and I said, I think maybe the one thing with the choirs that I've experienced, other than serenaders,
Yes.
and serenaders is a special zone. It's a special area. Yeah, we can talk for weeks about serenaders, but I experienced Free State choristers. The one choir that I was frustrated every weekend, but that I felt I got more success out of.
Yes.
So whatever I may think of that space, whatever I didn't like, I can never run away from the fact that there are great things that happen. I was able to go to the World Choir Games because of them. We were the last champions. Actually, we were top of the league when NCF was called off that year.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from me. No one. Thanks to that choir. So frustrating space, but a space of that we can say we did this and that and that.
Yes.
I conducted in Kimberley, wonderful people, but maybe the heads were not in the same kind of, we were not seeing the same thing. Many spaces. So I think what makes me maybe a little bit different, and this comes from serenaders, is that when I get an opportunity to work with a choir, I work. Yeah. Somebody once said in a rehearsal, and I said, sure. Envid, when are you going to the bathroom? Then I just remembered. I haven't gone to the bathroom today. So then I went to the bathroom, you know. So when I work, I work. Yeah. It's the same thing with the orchestra that I lead at work.
Yes.
I always say I want to work in a way that if there's something that I want to achieve, I achieve it. If we have a session of 4 hours and I achieve it in 3 hours, I let you go. If in 4 hours we have not achieved it, I must apologize. We will continue.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that in the spaces where I'm working, especially with the orchestra and the chamber choir that I have as well, that is something that a weakness they have accepted where I'm concerned. You know, when I work, I want to work, and they will accommodate me. Yes. And when we achieve, even if they want to stay, I will say, but last week I took your time, so let me pay back. So that's number one. But number two, I also like to work with, I enjoy working with what I have first, understanding them, finding out how far I can push them, limitations where there are limitations, okay. And I think maybe the other different thing, and I'm not talking about anyone, I'm talking about me. I always have people that I can go to and say, what did you think within the choir? And they can say, I offlopi leda. Okay, how do we fix it? At Serenaders, I had Krotmans like Bra Benny Dabula, Bra Elliot here in Carltonville, Ntate Kwati, Bishop Kwati in Plumov, that would say, whether it's musical or it's something else, Oflopil. And in the morning they will say, don't come to rehearsal, you'll come at 2 o'clock. I mean, I told people to be there at 9. Do not come. We must protect you.
Yeah.
So they will do the dirty job, then they'll come back and say, now you can come. So I don't have to apologize. When I get there, the one would apologize then at some point. So I think what sets me apart is a number of those things. I like working with what I have. Then I can know where to knock and say, hey, please come and help. And another thing that makes me unique in this space is that I'm not obsessed with competitions.
Yes.
There are people who can't survive without competition.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's the space we operate.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge competitions force you to really bring your best. But how about we bring that best all the time and not only competition? How about that?
Yes.
How about we think like that? Then let's see how this space will change. So I'm not obsessed with competitions. I'm lucky enough that in the space that I am, I can have 12 concerts in a year.
Yes.
And the people that we the community we service will always come back and say, hey, this was great, but we think that one. So there's always constant feedback.
Exactly.
We are trying to come up. This year, for an example, our main concert, we are doing something ridiculous with a symphony orchestra. We are turning the hall into a disco. And you know how happy parents are, more than the kids themselves, that they will have the opportunity to dress up and come. So we always try wild things, crazy ideas, and the feedback we get, we take very seriously. So that's what makes me unique. I'm privileged enough to be in different spaces, both in our black communities and in the so-called white areas, for lack of a better word. And I take everything serious. There are people in privileged position who do not take what they do serious. There are people in areas that are not so privileged who have the talent.
Serious,
so how do you mix the two? So I think that's what makes me a little unique, if you want to say that I'm blessed to be in those spaces, and I take the experiences and always put them in those two different spaces.
Yeah. You know, last recently we attend a choral indaba.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about music and business. Yeah. Then I come to you and ask, how do you make it work for you financially?
Siyalamba, mfethu. Look, again, I have a wonderful boss, and we talk about many things. One day she said to me, you know, your work here gives you that stability. You know, we are not paying you enough for what you do, or you are not getting enough. But at least you know that at the end of the month you've got imali for a rent, or to take your car for car wash, or to buy bread. I'm fortunate again in that within that which I do, there's still Abosaske, where they can invite you. And I take those things very serious. I'll tell you why. Because we're living in a space where the attitude of aungfage forward has taken over the space that we have forgotten, Dacia, and maybe I'm being snobbish. But when I recommend you, I also represent myself in you.
Exactly.
So you have the responsibility to represent me in my recommendation. And I don't think we take that always very serious. If I recommend you and you do a lousy job, you are unprofessional, you come there drunk, or there you are with busy in the audience while we are busy there trying to. That's ill discipline of the highest order. So if I invite you, I invite a piece of myself. Somebody trusts me enough to say, Mfethu, who can you recommend? You know, we have to be aware of that space and those factors. So finances can never be enough. I mean, now I'm driving and I receive a notification that we have to fill up before midnight. I stopped. Where did I stop? A zone 14 lap is booking. And the guys say, Puti, we have nothing. Like, there's no petrol.
I experienced the same thing.
I'm like,
I went to the first garage. There's no diesel.
There's nothing.
I went to the second garage. The guy is telling me, they said we must pour at least 1,000 in each car.
Yeah, so they are rationing now. Yes. And I'm like, I just need 200. Just arena next. So I had to drive very slow up until I got to Grasmere here.
Yes.
Then I was lucky enough there. But people are filling up. So as much as you may say you are trying to balance by doing this extra work, globally we are in trouble. Things are changing every day. 1,000 rand will not give you what it used to give you just 2 weeks ago, from a petrol perspective. Farmers are struggling with fertilizer, same thing. Oil, you know. So whenever I'm invited, it's a great honor. I take that
Yes.
very serious. I try to be a good colleague
Yeah,
to
yeah,
my
yeah.
friends. I try to bring the best that I can. And there are off moments where really you feel like I am going, but when you arrive there and you see it, oh, here's Kihumuris Jwe Parkway.
Yes.
Yeah, then you know what she's bringing. So you have to pull up as well. Let's give it. Hey, okay.
Yes.
Now I must, and that's all we can do, and be grateful that we are invited into Asisfagi. I want to emphasize this thing. I was talking to Temba Maseko the other day because we always talk about controversial things.
Yeah.
I was saying, if ever one day I call you and I say, Ungfage mfethu, just block my number, cancel that thing. Yes, you can recommend,
Yes.
but it mustn't. I must not call you and say, mfethu, abang busy, ang busy. They are probably not busying me for a reason.
Yeah.
I must accept and look inside and say, hey, why?
Mm-hmm.
But let's also acknowledge that you were saying Notsehla the other day, you didn't use these words, but I'm using them. There are areas that are colonized now.
Yes.
Others are not supposed to go into.
Yeah.
It's a topic for another day. So the little that one is able to get, we are grateful for. We don't have control. The only control we have is us giving our best at that moment. We've invited now a Freiberg to be a keynote speaker.
Okay.
And I felt very important.
Yes.
Keynote speaker. And I thought about music. And what is the keynote? The keynote is the one that brings us all back to the original key of this piece.
Yes.
So my role is that important, and we were honoring HK Pooe.
Oh, okay.
And it was such a lovely occasion.
Yeah.
And again, who thought I would be invited to speak and be paid? I've never considered that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there it happened, and we are grateful for the little we get and for the genuine friends we keep.
Do you think industry supports people like you properly?
Maybe people like me don't kick the doors harder. We think because we have a name and a reputation, things will fall on our laps.
Yes.
Maybe people like myself are comfortable in the spaces we occupy because I can knock on my boss's door and say I need a gong of 70,000 and they will get it for me. But I don't mean to sound racial or anything, but it's true. In some of the spaces I occupy in, I'm glad I'm in those spaces because when I knock and I say I want 10 books, 10 scores, and they say each costs 5,000, what are you going to do with it? At the end of the day, they are able to come back to me and say, can we buy you more for next year? Because we saw what you did with it. So the answer is twofold. Maybe people like me are comfortable in the spaces that we are in, but maybe I'm not being honest because I also know the other side. I'm always in, well, not always, but I'm in townships. I visit farm schools and work with them.
Yes.
And spaces like that. So literally, my position is like this. If you get it, you'll get it. Yeah, my position, my work is like this.
I get you.
and I take it as a privilege,
Yeah.
frustrating as it is, as much as it's not paying what I could pay myself. But I walk away having made that child happy.
Yes.
I walk away somebody thinking I'm worth something. Then the next moment I go and compete at Tirompan and I get beaten. I'm still fine. My purpose is bigger than that one competition.
Yes.
And that's what makes me happy. We'll talk more maybe about this.
While we're talking about the financial side of a choral, do you think sometimes musicians are limiting themselves in this industry without realizing it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because our obsession with competitions and trophies and certificates and 10,000 are blinding us to other possibilities.
Yes.
And I remember reading a post by Melisizwe, whom I respect very much as a colleague and as a brother who's making a serious impact
Yes.
as a composer and as a practitioner, conductor. I remember reading one of his many posts where he was saying the key thing from what he said there was collaboration can never be forced.
Mm.
And I think once we realize that, we will realize that we don't have to be friends with everyone or be in all the spaces that are there.
Yes.
If I'm in the Northwest and there's a gospel choir that is doing something unique, what do I do with my classical background or choral background to fuse these two together? We have another product now. So we walk in having two products, we walk out having three products. We have access now into the clap and tap market. They have access into the choral music market. Imagine recording a CD and there's maybe, let's say, just be modest, 100 copies that are sold. 100 copies are sold in two markets in a way. So you see that kind of collaboration.
Yes.
I don't have to go to what chorus and say, let's do this. We are offering the same thing that you could have offered by yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, there are unique opportunity situations where, I mean, what Ndate Moloto is doing now with this Easter program of his brings together same choral groups, but not only at competition level. This is a concert. This is a spiritual thing, much as it's a musical thing.
Yeah.
So I think we don't take ourselves serious because we are obsessed with that one thing. And at the end of the day, really the grand prize will go to one person. Maybe that's also the positive side of choral music. I mean, I remember times of NCF. We become instant celebrities.
Exactly.
You win a competition or you're in the top 3. Every radio station calls you now.
Exactly.
Hey, as young as you are. And they've never asked me. I'm 42 years, guys. I was born in the 80s. I'm 42 years. So I'm not young. I'm not that young. But I've forever been young. But you become a celebrity. So also it's about how you use the head to also open other doors. We were... I used to joke and say, in the years I conducted Serenadas, we were always featured on those DVDs, yet I never won an NCF. I've never won NCF. So the quality of our music spoke, even though the quality of the winning choir spoke differently, but we were always there. So we were played on radio, Imizulile, when it was still Imizulile. They played us as well there, and many other different stations. So with that kind of publicity, we could have done way more.
Exactly.
And now there's Tirompani, he's trying. I have an opinion. Maybe it's another topic for another day. I think he's a man that might be misunderstood.
Yes.
This is just me.
Yeah.
I think he's a man that could be misunderstood. He's got this thing that is burning him.
Yes.
Without insulting anyone, I also think there's a possibility that not everyone is advising him the proper way. But also because he hasn't been in that space for a long time. He wants to protect the dream.
Yes.
Then he ends up overstepping into spaces that he could just allow for Usia to run with it.
Yes.
Do I blame him? I mean, I'm not licking his toes now. I gain nothing other than what all of us are gaining, which is the pure joy of being on stage. He doesn't give me anything. He does. So I'm speaking my truth.
Yeah.
He's offering us an opportunity, a space that he must listen to what we are proposing, and we must listen and understand that he's a sole provider of this thing, and he will make mistakes. I mean, NCF Pele, when they were how old now?
20.
Yeah.
20
but the project, how
30,
old was it?
30 something.
Yeah,
years.
over. Let's say over 20 years.
Not 40.
Yeah, around there. Let's say for the benefit of the round, over 20 years. Let's say over 30 it's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Even at year 30, there were still people who were complaining.
Exactly.
So this thing of complaining about this one competition is not new. But it's yet another opportunity to go back to what you are asking.
Yes.
For us to maximize and say, this is His Majesty, these are the ultimate champions. what does Swaziland say about this? And what does Swaziland do about it? What does His Majesty as a choir do about that? He's very clear to say, I will not do a concert unless it's going to benefit us financially. We're going to get something out of it. And it's the truth. Why would I want to spend 100,000 and then at the end of the day report that I sold tickets that cost 10,000 and pretend like 10,000 is profit? It's not. It's my transport money for 2 months, maybe 10,000. You know, so we are not maximizing because there's this one thing that we are all obsessed with, and we can't also blame ourselves because there's less and less and less of these good quality competitions. We are grateful for Ntate Moloto in the Northwest there for what he's trying to do. There are some unique elements in what he's doing, and they must be given space. I think another thing is to compare, man. Hey, we like comparing. That's why there isn't anything we celebrate as being unique, because we like comparing. Hey, we slept at Orbit College, Rompan, not a Sun City. I was just happy that I had a bed. I had to kill many cockroaches there, but I was happy that my choir was safe, and my words were remember why we are here. I used a very vulgar word. If we that, then they will say, anyway, you invited them, look now.
Yes.
So we had, with 49 members on that stage, we had to fight like we were 70. So that's also another opportunity to maximize on this that we are saying. To say, we are that choir that was bottom 3, and we ended up being top 5 national. We were 1 mark away from being in the top 3. 1 mark. 49 members on stage.
Yes.
1 mark. Wow. That's fine. So, that's that.
To add on what you are saying, I remember at the end, Tetano Makajan, Cape Town. He said, what is killing us? We stuck with that thing, but I'm a chorister. Let's move away sometimes from being a choristers and be a musicians. Then you will make means in music. But if you stuck with the chorister, then Zaulam.
Be an artist. I mean, we have not explored all that could be out there to explore.
Yes.
Think of a concept where, in real time, we decide on a theme. Let's say we say the theme is nature.
Yeah.
And we invite 2 paint artists.
Yes.
And they sit there. During concert, we choose a repertoire kind of songs that talk about nature. Mwerani comes to mind. Mutuba, the song Lewatle, speaks of the ocean and the. That's nature. And these people are actually painting inspired by what they are hearing.
Yes,
and therefore, that which they hear, they can translate onto a canvas. 2 worlds, and there's a third product, as I said, onto that. Imagine a situation where we always have this thing that, and I Stedford at my workplace, where we would again release a theme, and then we would have a category of what we call informal art and formal art.
Yes.
And people would bring these, and we will display them. And some of these things, people want to buy them. That might not be the intention.
Exactly.
But because people see it, they might want to buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say, going back to that original question, we are not maximizing on things. We are not tapping into our heads and into other people's spaces and say, what can I learn from this space? And let me bring for lack of a better word, the popularity I have in that space into this space.
Exactly.
And let's see what it will bring out. So
if Banagnika about full control of choral music general, what is the first thing you think you can fix?
Shoot. let me first say where I am. I believe there are things that I believe strongly organizations or associations can help us with if they are properly run. For an example, I saw Monty Manamela's post, Mr. Manamela's post before Tirompane around that time where he was saying, he was crying indirectly. He was saying, it's like you give me 10 minutes to work with an orchestra. What will I be able to do in 10 minutes? And I think behind that, there's a cry to say we need more moments where we work with orchestras, we sit with them, so that we understand the language we have to use with orchestras and what would make a productive rehearsal in 5 minutes.
Yes.
You don't need 2 hours. It's a luxury, that thing that we can't afford. But if you are not used to that and you are used to your own choir, remember you are a star in your own choir.
Yes.
Omunye uclever athi lapha ekasi uyiclever la uphuma khona hayi la
not like
hayi clever. So you come across an orchestra and you realize that there are other clevers out there. There's a guy here that is coaching you. You don't want to be coached, you want to work, but you don't see the value in what they are saying. But also maybe your choir depends on you for security. You are struggling with this thing here. It's a mess. A potentially winning choir now struggles on stage because they don't know how to manage that space. So the first thing I would say, I would create more opportunities other than just competitions where we can sit like we are sitting now and deal with musical issues. So it goes again back to what Melissa was saying. Having some kind of regulations where you can say everyone, at least this is an equalizer. Again, I give you one of my silly examples. It's like having a PSL where Sundowns is able to buy a player for 50 million and TS Galaxy, that is improving, sells every time they are improving in order to keep the ship afloat. That's the kind of space we are operating in. So what could be that equalizer? One, it could be spaces where all of us can access, depending on where you are, similar spaces and create other than just the competitions. So that regulation will give us a voice. When we go to a competition, all of us are speaking in one voice. Well, in a way, it's like unions. Unions don't truly represent the individual. They represent a collective thought. Much as it does not cater for your individual needs, but it's still, in a way, or it could still improve something. So it's a myth, this thing of unions. It doesn't necessarily represent individual needs. But it's a step in the right direction. So we need something like that, a structure that will say we represent these people or we represent ourselves through this structure. And then create programs in all provinces. I believe we have the capacity.
Yes. We have.
I was on a call you heard with somebody else.
Yes.
We were talking about some other space where an amount close to 16 million is being returned back. That was supposed to have been used in arts and culture. Somewhere. I won't mention the place. I might be in trouble. So it's things like those that I think we do not see. Whenever things start to go interesting, arts and culture is the first place to be cut off. So we need to control that space. And then, yes, we have to keep competitions because choristers love competitions. It's a trip, first of all. There's white sheet involved, you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's an opportunity to sleep at a hotel. There's an opportunity to meet other people. There's a chance, one in whatever, that you could be a winner on the day. There's an opportunity to travel out of your province. All these things come through that one thing called competition. But ultimately there will be those whose names are called and those whose names are not. But imagine a situation whereby I've already conducted an orchestra in 1 year 4 times, 3 times if I'm lucky. Even if I don't go to the final, I've achieved something for that year that I can look back and say, wow, I was able to be given 45 minutes masterclass where I learned how to work with an orchestra and how does my choir now fit in. How do I conduct a soloist, for an example, as you see in Saskia? How do I know when to support them without necessarily coaching them on stage, then Nitiken in a putsi. But you have a coach, Itumeleng, he's doing this with that, and no. As a singer, I know what a singer needs. And as they stand there as a conductor, I see what they might need at that time. So all these things can be achieved through programs that have nothing to do with a competition.
Yes.
Competition just becomes one of those events.
Yeah.
But if there was plenty money for everyone, I would give each choir $1 million.
Wow.
I would really give each choir $1 million and say, run your thing, but you must be accountable as well for that.
Yes.
That's all we need in choirs. We need money.
Exactly.
We are running programs that have to do with communities where people don't have hope. Their only hope is that Friday when we have a camp. They don't know, they don't ask where the money comes from. Not because they don't care, because they realize they too don't have the money for the camp to happen. But I'm speaking the truth from where I work and in the space that I work. You have a child whose nice meal will only come from choir. You'll have a child whose moment of relief and release will be them moving out from the choir, from home to the choir. I used to conduct a choir Moteo, the TVET College in Bloemfontein. My first thing was to find out how do things work. And I said to them, you're going to hate me, but I'm going to tell you, you are spoiled. And of course, they reacted. I said, now, the first thing we are going to do, we cancel all the hotel camps. I was not their favorite for that weekend. And I said, we have to identify a class here or something where all of us will sleep there, including myself. And we slept on a carpet, dirty carpet. We bought blankets and all that. I met learners that had different, each one of them had a unique story to tell. And I realized, but why? Why are they so, in fact, when is the break? When are we eating? When are we? Then once you get to know them, you realize that this thing is not just about us singing.
Yes.
This thing is not, it's not about us. At that event that I told you of honoring HK Pooe, there's a lady that stood there and she lit a candle and said, we are lighting this candle as, us saying no to GBV, gender-based violence. And I thought, gender-based violence, choirs, da 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 da. And she started explaining. The words that stuck with me were, and I quoted as she said it, some of us live our homes where there's abuse and there's constant pressure, whether it's from a partner or somebody.
Wow.
And the choir is just that one space. And she used the word and said, it's our space to debrief, to de-stress, to just, and then there's the conductor shouting at us, insulting us. So GBV is everywhere. And if only artists could realize that the spaces that we operate in offers us more than just what we say we are doing, then those spaces would be.
And I heard Otto Maidi is soloist. You know him?
I know.
He mentioned that, when I get to these choirs, abantwana babantu bayashout. Shout, and you see, but no, I treatment it rightly. Because you don't know about what are they going through from Upper Babuya corner. Then you figure now you have a shout.
I'll speak without really kicking you in the mouth, so to speak. I'll speak as well and say, sometimes it happens.
Yes.
You are shouting, but not because you want to belittle people and you want. It's just another way of, come on, let's go, Yes, I've been in choirs where interesting language is used and you're like, hey. By the way, I've been called to come and coach here, so I'm part of this as well. And it changes your mind and it kind of makes you wonder, then how do I contribute into this as well? Meaning, without really saying your conductor is the problem, how do I become the solution as the one that is being invited here? And I don't want to play ignorant, but we've never had to think. I have never had to think like that after that concert.
Yes.
Ukuthi, am I also part of the problem? Am I now being abusive? Am I being... So it's something we need to think about in a and I
think to me we need we need to have structures in our choirs, because kwezi choirs zethu you'll find out that there is social work eculayo phaa, chorist. But animsebenzisi anithethi naye nimceli nomcela naye akazivolontiya eziphambili athi no, we need sometimes to come and have one-on-one with choristers and check uba umntu uphila njani. Yabo.
But as I say at work as well, I say this at my work, even psychologists need psychological help sometimes.
Exactly.
We do not just teach these kids in the class and that's that. The stories that they share about where they come from, homes. And this must never be reduced to a black only kind of thing. You'll be shocked. The stories that these kids tell us because they feel it's a safe space.
Yes.
I can trust this one. There's just something that happens from the moment a learner walks in that connects the two of you, and suddenly the level of trust is different. The level of the conversations you have are not just music.
Yes.
Or it's not about going in and get out. It's something more than that. And I think choirs are also like that. And that would be part of what I would do if I were to be in charge of some spaces. Let's be aware, and let government be aware. Let people out there be aware that we serve beyond just the singing in terms of the social structure. We are not government, but we can collaborate with government.
Exactly.
So when I say we are not government, I'm saying we do not have the strength to have everything that government has to help us. But we can also help government.
Yes.
We are helping government in what we are doing. So it's bigger than just... Music becomes life, as Tsetla was saying, when we identify that music is a central and integral part of what we do every day.
Yes.
When a day cannot pass by without me making music, then truly music becomes bigger than life.
Yeah. Now, period kasaske now. And we know we have those grassroots level musicians. Yeah. You know, many singers have to deal with singing techniques. That involves breathing, phrasing, intonation. Kaskakusele, the importance of breathing, phrasing, intonation.
I'm glad you started with breathing because breathing is a bugger of all. The thing is, the reason why I'm talking about breathing, I'm happy you are raising it.
Yeah.
You know, people always complain that you will get a score sheet that talks about the same thing. So, in light of that, maybe I will say breathing can be a contributing factor to 6 other things.
Okay.
So, chances are that if you're not getting the breathing correct, you might not get phrasing correct. You might not get the pitch accuracy is affected. You might also not necessarily say the words the way they should be said, for lack of a better word. For an example, you have a kind of a lengthy word that you have to sing over a certain period. That speaks to phrasing. But you might find that because you've cut that word, it's no longer just phrasing, but it's also about language itself. It's possible that because of bad breathing habits, your voice suffers as well. So we've moved from elements to technical things.
Yes.
By elements, I mean now lendo phrasing and, as I said, intonation or pitch accuracy, to now technicalities of the instrument itself.
Yes.
You are not able to support the voice, or that it projects in a particular way. You are not able to optimize on the tone you are going to produce with the instrument that you have. So I can never, in fact, for me, breathing is much more important than singing. You can't sing if you can't breathe.
Yeah.
Erika Elof, one of South Africa's sopranos, amazing. I think she's based in the UK now. She once came to give us master classes there, and she said, if singing is more difficult than breathing, then you are doing it wrong. In other words, this must not feel like it's working.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm singing.
Mm-hmm.
This must work.
Yes.
This must be supported by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think breathing is arguably one of the most important things in everything else that we are having a conversation now. Breathing is key.
Yeah.
Not only what we are talking about, but
Mm-hmm.
how we are talking about. If I want to drive a point across, breathing helps me because the voice changes.
Yes.
If I really want to have a moment where breathing plays a role. How I breathe also plays a role.
Yes.
So I've demonstrated and said a number of things that breathing alone can already elevate this from being this to being that.
Yes.
So I would advise all conductors, take a moment to just focus on breathing. Where? How? Why? I think we are in a space where we are fortunate enough to have access to YouTube, and there are really good channels. Not everything that is consumed is good, by the way, on social media, but there are really good pedagogues that are online that explain things in detail. It's upon us as teachers, educators, whether you have that background or not, to go and say, what can I learn?
Yes.
Practice it as well. Take a chance on yourself. We evaluate, but is it working or not?
Yes.
We have universities that are smart. Sorry, I don't mean to insult anyone, but that are smart enough. It's quite interesting that I say university and I say smart. But we have universities that are smart enough now to realize that they can actually get really good students from choirs. So that also opens a channel to say, I could go as a conductor of school X and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so and Professor so-and-so, man, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
Can I have a lesson for 45 minutes? Probably it's not enough, but you have that taste of the intensity of this day. When you go back and you speak on something, you speak with a sense of informed authority. Because we believe what you tell us. You are the conductor.
Yeah.
We believe you. So if you tell us we must tighten our bums, we will do that.
Yes.
But is it good tension or bad tension? There's that thing in singing as well. What is good tension and what is bad tension? You tell us to do that. Why? So go there and ask and say, can I experience this? I'm struggling with this. And smart universities realize there's a door there with community choirs and these choirs where they can access these singers. We had a conversation with Dr. Zungu last year. I think it was in Gauteng Provincials or somewhere. And we were talking about specifically TUT and other things that we were talking about there. And it was a friendly chat, and we were talking, and he acknowledged that there was a period where really church choirs were very strong. School choirs were very strong. So there was a system. And therefore universities could benefit through that system. Because from primary, you are singing straight through church, and then you can access these institutions, VUT, wonderful conductor for a long time there. You get somebody that is good, that can also point you to a certain direction. So breathing and generally technique is something that we must invest time and effort into. Read, but practice as well. Try and feel. I said earlier on, in singing, we are the instrument, not just the voice.
Exactly.
The body is the instrument.
Let's go to phrasing.
We've spoken about it, clar.
Because
because everything depends on breathing. Everything depends on breathing. It's like driving the most fanciest car, top of the range. Everything operates, but the petrol is not there. Okay, you have an option of pushing it. Good luck. Try pushing it to
Until
Bloemfontein.
where?
So maybe you'll survive singing without breathing. I don't know, but to what point?
Yeah.
So all these things are connected to one aspect,
Yes.
technically, which is this singing, that breathing that we are talking about. The importance of breathing can never be overestimated or overemphasized or even underemphasized.
Yes.
You start with breathing, then you realize how many problems you might be able to solve.
Yes.
I think the problem is that sometimes then what you we prioritize the voice, we forget the ear. And because we are so obsessed with the voice, we also forget other things that help the voice.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So one element can already solve 6 other issues that are there. Then we can focus on solo singing is unique. So without the voice, with Prof. Yun, we were talking again, we were driving somewhere, and we were saying there are performances that we would call the so what performances.
Okay.
You've sung, so what? And it sounds rude, ne? You've just sung. Correct note? So what? So there are layers to this thing. While we are dealing with breathing and what it assists with, there's now channeling and shaping that voice and polishing it. And then afterwards, there's the emotional connection between this and the instrument.
Yes.
And out of that then comes the honesty of truly showing us how you feel these words in your heart, how you say the words. If somebody comes and says, I love you, and we go, wow. And somebody comes and say, I love you. Same sentence. And somebody says, I love you. Same song, same sentence,
Yes.
same phrase. Somebody says, I love you. Same words, but
Yes.
the smart one realizes, I'm saying this thing, but let me put myself at this level so that the you is at that level. But also maybe the other one says, let me take the I and the you and make it equal and put the love as the central thing.
Yes.
Believe it or not, how I use the breath and in supporting the voice
Yes.
will determine how the artistry behind a 3-worded phrase ends up being received.
Yes.
Other than the emotional connection to the word. So, issue of phrasing is connected to
Breathing.
breathing.
Intonation?
Breathing. Yeah, well, breathing because you have to support the voice to get that note. But
Yes.
also the ear again. Does this one necessarily hear the note as it sounds? Can they really, truly identify this specific note as it sounds? You might find that maybe there's a problem there. Or I remember we were sitting in one of the master classes many years ago, and there was a professor from Norway or somewhere, and he spoke about singers that have very fine inside the ear, the drum in the ear, the fine kind of nerves that actually pop. They can pop when you oversing and you push. There's just so much pressure in there, and that will affect intonation. It was a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
But he was saying this because the other professor had brought a student and said, hey, I'm struggling with this one in this way, in this way. What do you? And then they were trying to suggest that. So,
Yes.
in the intonation, and by the way, when we say intonation, let us also not talk about intonation as if it's only bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So intonation also is a good thing. Yeah. So there's good intonation and there's bad intonation. So how do we fix the other, and how do we make sure that we consistently practice good intonation there. So it can be that you are not breathing properly. It could be that you are not hearing properly. And I think another one that we are most guilty in terms of choirs is also not placing singers where their voices actually could be operating optimally and not really over singing or operating in conditions where they have to overdo things, oversing. Auditions. So what do you want from auditions? It's a process also. In all the choirs that I've sung, I always look for at least two voices that I call travelers. Those are people that in the let's say soprano and alto, mezzo soprano, they can sing both comfortably. Or baritones that can once in a while boost the tenors a little bit just to give it that body,
that reach,
depending on the second basis that I have, of course. So intonation could be, if it's a problem, could be the ability to clearly hit the center of the note. Are you supporting properly in order to get the energy to go there? Are you necessarily singing in a voice part that you should be singing in?
Well. Let's talk about language now. Example, the tenor aria.
Yes.
It's in German. Kusaske. What is the importance of mastering language?
I saw a quote from one of the choral pedagogues the other day, popular guy now, and he says, maybe I'm not quoting him word for word, but he says, by making sure that I speak the language of that particular piece, or the language in which the piece is written in, I'm honoring the core source. In other words, the source of the language is the culture in which the language belongs into. Let's take it a bit closer to home. The mezzo, I'm not running away from the tenor, I'll come back to the tenor. The mezzo is in Zulu, Kimotswana. There's somebody that speaks, this is Zulu or Xhosa or whatever. Maybe Xhosa is closer. But somebody, Abuan Sesotho Kwana, or Khoisan for that matter, in the Northern Cape, whatever. By speaking and singing in the correct language, you are not only telling us the story as it's written, you are honoring the people whose language it is. And I think maybe imagining that I'm giving remarks Kwisaski, I would have said, in fact, it starts with the traditional folklore, because it offers us an opportunity to learn from one another and honor one another in learning like that. And I think it's the same with music. Any language you use and you sing in honors the people of that language, because you tell their story in true authenticity. And there's an element of being sincere as well. If you understand what you are singing, like in that tenor, and you understand the role you are playing in conveying that message, then you will understand how important language then is. So again, how do you learn then? You go back and you ask. You go to that university or that guy that you know studied at what university to help and say, hey, read this thing. One thing that we did this year, Guma, the national workshop, I don't know if you know about that. We had a Saskia National Workshop early in the year where all the provinces sent delegates, they nominated, and then we had to present each one of us a song. We had to scrutinize, deal with things, and the intention was really to have a document or something that we can give back to both facilitators, organize anyone that has an interest in this project. Thinking about conductors and learners. What we did different this year was that there were also audio clips where people are reading these texts in different languages. So that also is a step in the right direction, because then everyone starts on the same playing field. Whether you say ish or you say ich, you know what you know, I know what I know, but here's something that all of us can start on. So it creates again that equal playing field where all of us can say at least we are starting on the same note.
Yeah.
So what? Again, I ask the so what. We've given you, so what are you going to do about it? Then you take it further and you say, now that I know the text, how can I bring meaning into the word?
To the text, yeah.
Yeah, but so I think, especially using that one, I love that piece with I love that piece, but it forces you not only to understand the story of the one that sings. I think is Abodia that sings there. Sorry if I'm messing it up. And the role that he plays in this. So you can't talk about the solo tenor without touching on Thanks Be to God, which is in the Champ of Champs, or yet the Hello, see it north, not, which is also in from Elijah, and many other pieces that are prescribed this year that are from. So, in order to sing that tenor solo, you need to understand the story of Elijah and what you, as the singer and the character in the oratorio, what role are you playing? Because you are saying to these people, if you truly want God and you truly seek Him, this is what you need to. Don't just bring your clothes as fancy. Change your hearts as well. Be clean. But they are frustrated and say, but yet the Lord does not hear us. What's the use here? So a conductor is also a storyteller. How do you tell that story in order for this one to then understand? So language has meaning because there's a story that I understand and that I can reflect on. Then in that way, I'm telling it meaningfully, and hopefully I'm telling it to an audience that will also feel it.
Exactly.
But if you don't feel it and you don't know it, we probably will not be moved as well. So the importance of language, we can never take language. And I think we are moving away from that thing of, it's not our language. As shy, at least I heard what you were trying to say. It's okay. Again, it's that overemphasis of the beauty of the instrument. Buffett, we hear beautiful voices every day.
Exactly.
And some of them come and disappear and we wonder where are they. It's because of this kind of attitude where the voice takes priority, but there are other things that must also come out from this voice. And that's what makes you stand out. That's why I advise learners when they ask me, should I go in for singing? And I said, the honest me will say no. You need a career that is stable. But the guy that I grew up as, that struggled to knock on those university doors and finally snuck in, will say it's worth fighting for, but only if you are willing to suffer for it as well.
Yes. The conductors sometimes they have to deal with choir and soloist. Then how do you build relationship between the choir and the soloist just to get the best out of them? This choir won because of a soloist.
I remember a
soloist choir.
I remember a conversation closer to this when we were talking about Bomb the Other.
Right.
But I think when you call a soloist, you are calling a soloist with clear conscience as to the role they are going to play in this that you are going to present and package. I think at schools it's different. You can't get a learner from Zama to sing at Nkang Mahlali. If it was like that, then I don't know.
To be chaos.
So we in community choirs we have that option as well to then say I can go and hire a solo from a Cape Town or whatever. But I always believed if we were to hire a soloist, it could really be because we do not have the quality that we are bringing in.
Yes.
And I've been on the receiving end of people saying, and I'm talking a personal story, so I say it with no fear. I've been on the receiving end in the choirs that I lead where people would say, but we are not given a chance. Putsia, sometimes your confidence depends on you as well. It's like I'm sorry for the extreme example. It's like somebody that rapes and says, "You made me do it."
Yeah, exactly.
A criminal makes a choice, a decision. If you are going to kill someone, you decide that they are not worth living. Therefore, I'm going to kill them. I go in, I want the equipment. Whoever that I find in here, I'm going to shoot. It's a decision. If you want a solo, where I have operated, and I'm probably they will comment on this thing, you have to show that you want it. It's not a gift, this thing, where I say, this year it's you. My friends have had to suffer in the choir that are talented because I told them outright, I'm Chana. Practice it indeed, but you might be number 5 on the list because you have experience.
Yes.
But so and so carries an instrument that I think, with the picture we are trying to paint, will convey the message that we want the people to hear in this way. Remember, we have an artistic, I as a conductor present an artistic framework, and the singers are the different colors that I will fill in this. And once we've put it together, I turn it like this and say, this is the picture according to what you telling me that I'm telling you.
Yes.
So this is a reflection of my thoughts through you. Now, as individuals, retell this story as well. So even within a choir, there's still individual brilliance, like in song.
Exactly.
We are playing within a structure and a certain formation, but we know should you get that thing at that point. Yeah. So I think it's like in the choirs that I lead, even the most unexpected person can sing a solo because they are communicating what we would like, how we would like our story to be told. If I call in somebody, it's because I truly believe this is a specialized role or line that they have to sing, and their presence will also make us better, because once they start to sing, we will also go, let's give them our best as well.
Yeah,
that's what I believe in.
Yeah.
But they must not come. Luckily, I've never had that problem. People that I bring into my space are people that I know align with my thoughts and vision. They may be opinionated, but they will understand very quick what I'm trying to do or what we are trying to do. So we will not have diva tendencies. We will not have diva tendencies. We will not have, do you know who I am tendencies. When you commit to joining this thing, you are not helping us. You are becoming part of us. And there are things we will learn from you and benefit from. There are things you will learn from our choir. Like Put Otto saying, hey, people are being shouted at, are doing that, and you might not like them. And therefore you will then remove yourself from that space. Or you will be working with somebody that you could say, hey, Mchana, less noise. Yabona, when you do this, can I take it for 30 minutes? I'm protecting you because you are losing. Then after 30 minutes, the different energy. Then you're like, guys, please forgive me. I was just overwhelmed. Thank you. Then again, the role of this person extends from them just being, the maestro there and singing with us. So I think bring people in your space that you think will enhance the product. Be honest about your space. We are not a perfect space. We are a developmental space. But your role will be this. Do you think you can? Yes, I can. Or no, I can't. No, thank you. But there must also be that opportunity to pull that joker in a pack of cards. Somebody that was not expected that will do miracles there. Believe.
Yeah. You're the one good conductors when it comes to your orchestra. There's challenges and solutions also. Or teacher but bananas when it comes to accompanied repertoire
by an orchestra, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I speak just from my own little corner and observations. I do not claim to be better than anyone. Let's take a space like Saskia for an example.
Yes.
I remember very well there was this one lady that came and said, "You mtanam." I remember the voices very. "You mtanam, him nandi, and imapa." That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, man. And I told the orchestra, we have allocated 10 minutes, but be prepared to go to 17 minutes. They don't like it, but because I'm telling them,
Mhm.
I'm preparing them
Now.
psychological to say, even the principal, be aware that you are now the assistant conductor. I will be dealing, no ma'am, you will be dealing with the orchestra. Sometimes ma'am will not look at you, but pick up the information, and rally it to the orchestra as she's communicating with the choir. So ma'am walked in there as already saying, I'm defeated. But I said to ma'am, okay, ma'am, before we start, let's talk about things.
Yes. Yes.
How confident are you with your choir in terms of music? I? No, 7 Excellent. Let's start there. Now tell them in very clear terms, Uguti, this is what you expect from them. Sing. You'll hear that thing that you heard in the piano. There will be other extra things here and there, but it's still that same one. So if I don't look at you, don't worry. I'm trying to find myself nam.
Yes.
Then communicate very clear with the principal player, the principal violinist, and say, hey, when it gets here, I might need you a little bit more. That's why we are there. That's why we are asked to support teachers.
Yes. Yes.
Then there will be others. I remember we had a different conversation, no conductor with Zama. Absolutely wonderful human being to be around, and very clear ideas, and he knows what he wants, and he has ways of making it happen.
Yes.
Then the conversation becomes different. Okay, I saw you did this and I saw the orchestra reacted. Would you mind here now trying this and deciding? Because note that if you do this and you do that, there's also that happens perhaps there. And that might be a reference to that part. Okay, let me try it. Then we try. Whether they take it or not, that's not my business. My business is to say, I'm here to observe and say what could be the easiest way of communicating this and that and that. Others will conductor which hires that year. Very clear about what he wanted and how he wanted it, and he knew how to demand for it. I had a different view. We had a conversation. He stuck to his way and he succeeded. That's that. And I think that's what makes conducting such an interesting thing, because we could all desire one thing, which is to unify the two sets of musicians, so to speak, choir and orchestra. But we have different ways of doing it. Orchestra players could prefer a different way. It happened to me at Tiromban, where there was a member here in the cello section who preferred something else. I had a different thing in my head, and I was so stubborn in my ways. For those 3 minutes, it was a to and fro. No. Respectfully, but making sure that my presence is also felt. After the rehearsal, then I think, I'm like, actually, he was right. I got the result, but his way was much more basic, but clear for everyone in the orchestra. So what did I do? Because I've seen people fail because they've offended the orchestra. What did I do when I got on stage? I cracked a joke. People laughed. Then I went directly to him and I said, let me tell you something. I practiced. And then they laughed. And then I said, thank you for the suggestion.
Exactly.
Let's see if it will work now. Let's go. And suddenly everyone, then you realize by engaging this one, the 9 others also picked up on this thing, and there's a different posture now. Suddenly my friends are frowning. People that I know. But that moment of just everyone suddenly now plays. Then I said, I think I'm going to have control of this thing. Then we played and played. And so know what you want. Practice how you want to show it. Ask yourself if it's the only way of doing it. And if there's another one, test it at that time and see if the outcomes are different. There's a rule that we have in orchestra spaces. If you stop, you must explain to us why you stopped and whose fault was it. You start a song and then you say, it was too fast. Who decided? It was you. So it's basic things like that we would then say to the teachers. Think about how fast you want it. And tempo doesn't operate on its own. It goes back to that issue of phrasing. You take it too slow, are you going to go through the phrase? You take it slightly quicker. Are the words clear? Are they able to You must know
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
violins
yeah,
are
yeah.
doing compared to the flute there
Mm.
that plays in that one line and nothing.
Yes.
So your choices must be informed as well.
Mm.
So the challenges are that, and I've said this before, I wish when conductors are being prepared to come to nationals, they could also be given the orchestral score 2 months ahead
Yes.
so that they can listen to the recordings and go through the score.
Mm.
When you
Mm.
hear
Mm.
something interesting, you look, where in the score is it? You make a circle and you say, hey, this thing, I liked it.
Mhm.
You know, there's a
Mhm.
jam, and then, hey,
Yes.
I liked
Yes.
it. Let me mark it. Then in that way, you go there with confidence.
Mhm.
Orchestra players are very wild. In the first 2 bars, they've decided if you are good enough for them or not.
Oh, okay.
And you will see. The
Mm.
principal will look at you, and when you do the pickup, they will do a pickup with you,
Yes.
with their body, and then play that first thing. Then by the second bar, they are probably looking at them if they didn't practice for long or they got the music the night before it happens.
Yes.
Very bad, but it happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then they would then, even more experienced one will also even show entrances because they can see you're focusing on the choir.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah,
a kind of
yeah.
principle you want that also says I can read the room and
Yes.
see what is happening. Let me help.
Yes.
Others will just say, no, but you showed like this and I played without trying to understand why you could have showed it like that. If the music is on tim, trim, on 3 and 4 and 1, and they want I came with a conclusion that I'm just going to go jump the rum. He says to me, but you closed the bar. He's correct. But in my head, I did not close it. I was still feeling ding, ding, ding. I did not prepare them, so I'm wrong.
Yes.
I showed the correct information, but they don't know my thoughts because we don't talk through the whole song. So the biggest problem is that communication between the orchestra, communicating your ideas clear, making sure also your choir knows its role,
Yeah.
and making sure that you get that moment to also really feel like you're in control of this. But those guys are not. They know and they will feel it. And once you give them a sense of, I'm struggling, but I'm pushing, they will support you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They will support.
2026 task.
Yes.
Which song do you think is challenging? High schools.
Yep, yay! That song is an orchestra piece on its own. Senior A. Is it? Yeah. Omunye wathi izinqe. Hey. Yeah.
The language. The language.
Yeah, I think that piece is an African orchestral piece.
Yeah.
And the title says it to us, ne? There must be rhythm and there must be joy in those.
Because izingqi.
Yes.
Much in izingqi.
Yes. Yeah. You know, so there must be that kind of. I don't know how to explain it. It's, to me, I looked at the score and it looks like an orchestra. So I'm like, imagine a percussive or a percussion orchestra. And that for me is the most challenging song. But I also think the Champ. Okay, you said secondary. Yeah, but I think Champ of Champs is secondary as well.
Yeah.
There are also some interesting numbers there, and I have a feeling that everyone, based on how they experienced last year, might end up running to Magnificat because it's the simple one, the Magnificat. Not simple, but popular one from hearing, and maybe run away from things like "Thanks be to God" and other things. I'm willing to take a chance and say I think they will do that, but I think Mendelssohn is also something to explore, and especially how the music was kind of put together. For an example, the Help Lord and this Yet the Lord, they can tell a story even though there are different numbers from different locations in the score, or at least they still make logical sense in how they are put together. So I think there in the Chamber of Champs, there's some interesting, difficult things.
Yes.
And it's also possible that what we consider to be the simple thing by ear could be the most challenging thing by practice. But that, for me, as somebody that still has to learn a few other tricks in African choral music, especially of that kind.
Yes.
My preferences are always the old school things like, the stuff that we know, like Ruri and all, the clear structure, you see, and there's always an opportunity to do something that somebody else did not do. Having to experience that score was like, hey, I've been denying myself nice things. So that is the piece for me that is most difficult. Solo-wise, I think that soprano,
Yes.
Emotionally, it needs a different kind of understanding. It's a very matured piece in my view. The story of the composer, which then translates into the composition, will be interesting to watch. I think stylistically, the mezzo will offer us moments of debate. What was the correct way? What is the correct thing? We don't know. Dr. Zungu's words, we might not know what is right, but we will know it when we hear it. This is the one. Based on everything we know from analysis. So I think there are a few numbers that are interesting. There's one, just for interest's sake, in the primary section there, in the primary boys. Up and up, something.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
I always don't want to miss the primary boys.
I think it's, theoretically speaking, it's an interesting piece. I that's where I choose to. It will offer a challenge to a composer. Maybe let me put it this way. If you're a conductor and you're doing that piece, don't believe everything you are seeing on that paper. It might be 3/4, but it might be feeling like something else somewhere. But the beginning might be that 3/4, but somewhere else it could be feeling like some. So go beyond just the notes and the page it's worth written on. There are hidden things that we are also realizing. So don't believe just what. Probably it could be even second most difficult after the Ngobe.
Yes.
That primary boys. Let's wait and see.
Okay. 2025 for the we had Champ of Champs for the first time. Your take on that one?
Great initiative. I think maybe the little one thing that could have changed, and I think they picked it up very quick. Was to limit the issue of choice in terms of the Western pieces.
Yes.
I'll tell you one of the challenges. In Northwest, you had Sehla doing a piece of his choice. But most likely, and this is what people also don't know sometimes, relatively we use the same players, all of us, within Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Northwest, and now to a greater extent even Northern Cape, and I would even say to some extent Free State. So chances are that within these 6 provinces, you will still have the same players playing at national, right? Whether as those that will enhance the orchestra that is chosen, let's say my school orchestra, for an example, whether they enhance that or it's somebody else's completely different thing. So the challenge there was that then those players played in Northwest, where there's a Champ of Champs. They played in Northern Cape, where there's no Champ of Champs. They played in Free State, no. They played in Limpopo, no Champ of Champs. Mpumalanga, yes, there was, but it's a different piece. So out of the 6 or whatever choirs that are performing, they only know 2 pieces well enough. So they can't practice all other songs prior to them knowing that they will be contracted to perform. So it creates a problem in that sense. So when you prescribe like this and you say there's a Mendelssohn and like this, we are able to look for all the music and say, let's go through all the pieces just touched so that we have a feel of what is the demand. And then upon realizing who has chosen what, we at least know that we have touched on we are ready for any eventuality. So I thought that was that. And also, we must remember, we cannot talk about the Sasuke program at that level without also considering the programming in terms of your works that you are doing. It needs to be between 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock. It's cut off. So I'm happy that generally the syllabus is a little bit lesser, so that there's enough time in between the days as well to recover. You want fresh adjudicators, but you want fresh musicians, fresh. That time of helps as well the orchestra to have enough time to prepare as well. So I think it was a great initiative, and it continues to be, of course, improved based on what has happened. This idea as well that it is not an exclusively, only those. I think now they said you must get a certain mark in order to qualify to go that side. But if you are not, I think we proposed, or it was there already, that but also if you are not getting this, you must go to A. You must go to A. So that there's only the side, everyone then gets motivated to aim for that mark. You are not getting an empty 90. That doesn't offer you anything except the same applause that I will get with my 77. So the people must feel uncomfortable so that they live a comfortable life, so to speak. My wish would be one day, I wish for conductors to conduct their own solos.
I was going to ask that. Why conductors are not conducting their
I don't know.
solos?
Really, I don't know. It is a specialized thing, but I think part of the developmental side of things that we are talking about would also be, take this. If it crashes, let it be a spectacular crash. If it's a success, let it also be a spectacular success. So that is one thing I would want to see in future, that the soloists can be conducted by their own or if we are really saying some of the music is quite technical, and let at least the conductors have the ensembles to also have a taste of this. And again, maybe one day, A, B, and Champ of Champs, the Western pieces will be conducted and accompanied by orchestra. But great initiative. Let's give it time to grow. Let us not corrupt the space by being adults that are involving kids in our issues. Let's allow the space to grow. At least it's people that we know are always practicing, so they consider these things and they will implement changes as we continue to go. Fantastic.
Yeah. Let me come to you straight now. Do you see yourself staying in the same lane, or you aiming beyond?
Which same lane? Well, like I say, there's nothing wrong with stability. Meaning, the work I do from 10 to 6 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock in the evening at the Northwest Musicon, which is teaching and creating ideas, putting life into ideas, concerts and things like this. I think it's a forever changing space, because we are also trying to reach out to other spaces where we acknowledge that people might not be able to manage financially to come inside. So we are doing that work to also reach out to other areas next to us. That's number one. So unless something different comes up, I'm staying in that space. In terms of the organization that I'm leading, there are talks now, because there's a change in terms of leadership and the structure of leadership. We did not start that organization to actually be a choir. That was not our thing. But people that joined the organization were choristers. And if a chorister wants a competition, then you will go to a competition. And we thought, let's use that to get a bit of traction as well, so that we start then occupying our space that we want to create also for the communities around us. So I think that's a different project. It's something I never imagined I would be directly in the middle of, helping to create and form partnerships and whatever. So that for me is will forever be my frustrating space, and my joy as well, where when things happen, the space where the hands get dirty. And in terms of the self, I want to go back to studying.
Okay.
There are some unfinished businesses there.
Yeah, yeah.
It won't be easy because I'm
Yes.
involved in so many things, but it's something that I want to do, not because of any other pressure. I also think we are entrusted with the responsibility of being the voices of influence. Sasuke,
Yes.
danger zone because it speaks of development, but you also have experienced conductors that will want to win at all costs. I'm sorry for saying that. So at all costs might be you being the bad guy, even if you are not the bad guy. But you are also having people that have Ubuntu, that see this thing as a Ubuntu-centered kind of project where they would say, our Bafethu, Usia has been competing for 5 years. He's never won anything. Nicho, anomfaka ku top 3, my daughter. Then, as a father, and you say, hey, they are honest, but I must be even more honest. Because there are people who are criticizing us there. It's true, ne? Because and yet then there would be an extreme opposite. Guma primary schools. You see these teachers with smiles on their face, with energy, with joy. They haven't been winning for so many years, but they're always there at provincial level or national. And you're saying, what are we not learning from this side that we could learn from this side? Then you realize this space is slowly and surely getting corrupt. Yeah. Not in a bad way when I say corrupt, but I mean the waters are slowly getting dirty because you're having people that are competing as well at community level. So maybe the frustrations are not basically here, they are there. And we live in a very weird space when Atasi. Today I'm sitting here with you, we are having a chat. Tomorrow, me and you will be sitting on the table adjudicating my brother there.
Yes.
Next week, he will be quality assuring you, adjudicating me. That other week, maybe Ngliwe, and I'm like, okay. That other week, now we are adjudicating. I'm giving all the reasons. Maybe I'm seeing Uda, he's lukewarm. I'm going to bombard him. I'll get you. We are operating in a space like that, unfortunately, that has petty issues.
Yes.
We all of us want our feet, the steps to be felt. Our word must carry weight everywhere we go. Kanti, there's great power in also listening and understanding what others are saying.
Exactly.
So, me going back to study, or at least my wish to going back to that field, is just based on the issue of me wanting to improve myself in areas where I think, now that I've served in that area for 13 years, I think I have much more to write about.
Yes.
If I want a PhD or whatever. So that would also be my wish. But I think what is central to me is the work that I do at the Musicon, because it still affords me to contribute into Sasuke churches, communities. One does not rest, but it's worth it. With the injury that I had, it was very frustrating.
Oh yes, you mentioned that injury.
What happened? It was horrible. I don't know what happened. I don't want to lie. In 2009, I had a spine injury, but it was not really an injury. I had a nerve that was pinched on the spine. I walked like that because that thing was painful. And it was as a result of me moving something, so I was not properly supporting. So I think that was the case. Then a muscle got pinched, but then it went away. It started again while we were at Sasuke adjudicating. I have never been so much pain. And I went in for a procedure, but it was nothing too hectic. There was a fear because they felt something that was like a lump. Then luckily it was nothing cancerous or anything. Then the thing went away again. Then when we went in January to the Sasuke 5-day workshop thing, again it came back. So on the one side, there's an issue of when my body feels overloaded, it starts to act now. Because then I don't sleep enough. I don't eat when I have to eat, not because of any reason because I'm there.
Yeah.
So now I'm recovering,
Mm-hmm.
but I still have to go again for observation so that they monitor and all that. So it's been a very painful kind of start to the year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even towards the year it was
Mhm.
like that. But I'm recovering. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah,
asking.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
When you leave this space, what legacy do you want to leave?
it's a, it's an emotional one because we live in a world where you can do everything and still people cannot. It's possible that
Recognize,
people
yeah.
may not remember you.
Exactly.
And that's why events like the one that Mompati's Chorats did in honoring Mematsambo some years ago and at the HK now, those events are important so that you give somebody their flowers while they're still alive.
Yes, yes.
Then we can talk about what legacy. But one thing that I can say with no fear, and this is, I'm not a guy that will easily talk about himself, but maybe this is the moment where I change that a little bit. I'm proud that I've been in a space where at some stage I was viewed as a villain, especially during the period in Serenaders and maybe a little bit after that.
Yes.
There's stories of great success in the history of Serenaders, but the stories are not always properly told
Yes.
with a great sense of honesty because it might seem like we are taking the light away from others. But I come from a Serenaders where it was about team, it was about family, it was about us being united, and I knew when to take a bullet for you, and you would do the same thing. And things changed as we went. Those that were carrying the weight when they needed for the weight to be carried by others, no one was there. And you then realize that it's either you move on from those bridges or you build your own bridges. So what I'm proud of is that from the moment I joined Serenaders in 2005, I was able to quietly reinvent myself to survive that space. I learned a lot from Brad Desmond,
Yes.
who was a conductor when I joined. I sang for Pax.
Mm-hmm.
I sang for him because I absolutely respect his musicality. I may have opinions on other things.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has opinions about me. I didn't sing for Tesla, and it's my reason, but I helped him a great deal.
Yes.
And I'm happy that through that he became what we know now.
Yeah.
And there was a George Mafete at some stage there as well. And I'm glad that when I took over the choir, there were those that also said, we will help you. Oh, you would imagine that those you had helped would want to help you, but then it's others that will then say, we will help you. And you welcome it because today you are a hero, Sia, tomorrow you are a villain.
Exactly.
Today you are offering us this platform to speak freely and friendly and with respect, and tomorrow I'll be saying, yeah, he's driving a fancy car because of me. But without looking at what this also does for me as much as it's doing for you. So perhaps the legacy has already started.
Yes.
And it is up to those who are benefiting from that to tell their story,
about
our story.
Yeah.
I've slept on the floor and allowed others to sleep on my bed when they had nowhere to go, and they were just first year students I never knew. I've paid for people's fees when I did not have money for other things. I've found learners in Sasuke who were position 8, position 6, and no one remembered them. And I said, I hear something different. And when when a guy comes and knocks at your studio and says, "Hey, Menier," and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he says, "I want to show you something. Just come here." You're like, "Hey, that you're a policeman. I can't trust you, you know." And you go outside and they say, "That's the little baby now that I have bought now.
Yeah.
I thought I should come and show you.
Wow.
Here's 1,000 rands just for biscuits."
Wow.
Then you realize that, okay, first of all, I feel old now. Do I have guys that have now, I have taught for this long?
Yeah.
But look at their lives from being in choir. When I can call somebody and say, in fact, we are going to Tirompane or whatever competition, ngeli 10,000. And the person does not hesitate and says, take it, I trust you with it, you don't have to report on it, take it, do what you need to do. So maybe the legacy has already been there. One thing I will tell you as I close now, this, in every choir where I've been, whenever I left, there's always been people that says, can we join you? Can we join you where you are? And my answer has always been, if you are going to live where you are, live the right way. Others will tell you conflicting stories, but it's because maybe they are not interested in the truth. But that's fine.
Yes.
So,
you know, most interviews you do, we celebrate the person.
yes.
But yours is revealing the thinking behind the person.
Prophetic. Call me Papa.
Itu, thank you very much, bro, for your time.
No, thanks.
And we wish you good luck on your studies in future and a very good success.
No, thank you. Thank you. We'll keep on pushing, and we will also support you. The work you are doing here, guys, is really wonderful, and growth must be celebrated.
Yes. Yes.
And we never get these chances to sit here and talk, but we are grateful for this, and may it reach out to others, and maybe may they be others that will also contribute into the space to make it grow even more, and also to generally to the choralists out there. Let's continue to dream and act on a better choral space that we can make it be the better space that we want.
Yes.
We must never give up. Nothing came easy, but let us also lose the appetite to try and solve people and not solve problems. Yes. That mentality will kill us. We must never be interested to solve people. We must solve problems with the people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tesi.
This is Grimbiano. Salute.